Going on, everyone? Meteorologist Hunter Ward, January 19th, and many of you are seeing snowfall out your windows, and it's accumulating for a lot of you as well, especially around the Asheville area, kind of into the Fairview area. We've got some banding that's set up with this northwest flow. It is ripe. It is here. This is probably the best northwest flow that we've seen in the past 2 to 3 years. Used to get these if you have just moved here in the past 2 to 3 years. We used to get these on a pretty regular basis, and we'd get an inch or so of snow into Asheville. And so we're getting snow all the way through. It is pushing into the Piedmont areas, and so some of the roadways around town are also, I was out just a little while ago, and snow was already accumulating in those roadways, the shaded areas, and as it's began to pick up over the past hour or so here, we've got another pulse of moisture that's moving through. That's going to enhance the roadway conditions around town. So please be mindful of that. If you're headed home in the next few hours, just take a little bit of extra time, patience. Temperatures are pretty cold, 26 at my house right now, and the roadways are wet if they are not snow covered. So please be careful. Let's go ahead and turn around to my screen. I want to thank All In Dumpster Rentals and CP Cruising Companies. Patrick with All In, he can take care of all your dumpster needs. And CP Cruising Company, Adrian, time to get those tax appointments scheduled. Looking around, check it out. We've got all the cameras showing a good bit of snow. Better Homes and Garden Maggie Valley camera showing snowfall there. We've got the downtown Asheville camera. Good swath of snow moving through there, not accumulating on the roadways there just yet, but on elevated and grassy surfaces right now. We're seeing Canton also getting in on the snowflakes there. Better Homes and Gardens Canton camera here. And check out the bannerelk.com live camera. It's just absolutely pouring the snow up there. It has been. I believe they've already got 4 or 5 inches from this. So another 4 or 5 to come with that flow. Let's take a look at a few more cameras around town. Fletcher, the Marthaler Jeweler camera, I've seen some snow flurries on here, and look, you can see the accumulated snowfall there as well. Just a dusting in the Arden area. Fairs of the Hearts downtown Waynesville camera. We'll see that. You can see snow falling in downtown Waynesville. These are not lining up perfectly for downtown Waynesville to get the accumulation. You're just seeing that snow kind of work its way in and around. I think a little bit later tonight you guys could get a dusting, but a tough call there. Hendersonville, I saw some snow flurries on this camera a little while ago, so I know we are, and I saw some imping reports as well. So downtown Hendersonville, there was a couple snow flurries flying through there. Also seeing it in Hendersonville, the Cullowhee Silva camera, Better Homes and Garden. Look at this. Not a typical northwest flow area, but snow falling all around the Cullowhee Silva area. And so neat to have these cameras all around. We'll be adding a few more. Still working on getting a couple of them maintained and up. Just tough with the internet conditions in some areas. But we've got many of them around. Most all of them are working. Blaylock excavation camera here. We actually got a little bit of blue sky. You can see how that banding is occurring. Look at this. Wow. Almost like a thunderstorm type development here as that warm air is lifted up. And that's what that banding is occurring. So a good segue into the radar. I'll show you that banding that is occurring right now on this moisture that's coming through North Carolina-Tennessee border right there, that state line. Look at the imping reports. I'll put them on. Wow. Lots of them. Lots of you guys seeing snow. Even into Rutherford County, Burke County. Wow, that's just snow flurries making it all out of the mountains. This is some of the best northwest flow we've seen in a while. Higher elevations really raking it in. I think that Asheville could end up with an inch or two from this before it's all said and done. As that flow continues to push in, that accumulation will taper as you go farther south towards the airport, towards Hendersonville, possibly even a dusting as this ends in Hendersonville. But you guys typically don't do well with this northwest flow. Farther north, we've already got around a quarter to a half inch of accumulation around the Weaverville and Alexander area. As you progress towards Mars Hill, even more snow has fallen in those areas. So lots of you guys are seeing snow from this that haven't seen snow, and it's really been about 2 years since we've seen anything much of accumulation wise. We haven't had more than a dusting or so. We had a few northwest flow events last year, but nothing that really had this amount of steam and stout. And really, with these cold temperatures, we're getting the most out of the moisture. It's kind of wringing itself out. We're getting much higher rates with it in the area. I think it's kind of pushing down the French Broad River Valley. It's kind of taking advantage of the river and meandering its way all the way into Asheville. You can see that banding occurring now on the radar as we zoom in, and that's those green streaks. That's the banding that's occurring. It's going to continue to push into Asheville over the next at least 4 to 5 hours. I'll show you guys what the radar or what the models show here. But if you're not seeing snow flurries right now, there's a good chance that you're not in one of those favorable northwest flow areas. Most of the northwest flow areas are seeing snowfall north of Asheville. We've got such a nice flow, though, that it's making it into Silva, even areas that sometimes don't typically see it. But what happens with this is we see the channels that set up where is seeing snowfall. We'll probably continue to see it until the radar begins to dry up here in eastern Tennessee. And so as this moves through, you can see it still continues to create itself, 150 miles away from Asheville. So we've got a long fetch of moisture that has broken containment. A lot of times this just doesn't have enough winds. The temperatures in the atmosphere aren't cold enough. It doesn't push through the high elevations, but it's happening today. We have the right amount of winds, right amount of coldness in the lower atmosphere for that to occur. Yeah, you've got the winds, as I see some of you guys commenting there. And just want to let you guys know what's going to happen through the evening. Things are going to get a little bit dicey as the sun sets. You've got about 3 hours or so before I think roadways start to get a little bit treacherous in those main areas. We're going to see that freezing occur. The salt and sand can only work towards so much because we're going to drop down to like 5 or 6 degrees tomorrow morning. And so things are just going to freeze up like an ice rink, I believe, around town. Anywhere that's getting snow right now, I'd make sure you have something to eat for tomorrow. It's going to be nasty trying to get out in and around the Asheville area if you're seeing snowfall. So let's show you what these models are showing through the evening. We've got the HRR model up first that I'll run this out for you. So there's what it's picking up. That snow, this model doesn't really do that well with northwest flow snow, so I take it with a grain of salt. But what I look for are those streamers developing, which, yes, they continue to be developing through the afternoon for 3 or 4 more hours. So this model kind of tapers off the northwest flow by around midnight for most areas. Now, let's look at the NAM 3KM because that model keeps snow rolling for several areas through midnight and into the early hours of tomorrow morning. Also, check out the temperatures on this as well. So here's the NAM 3KM. Here is right now, and as it progresses, still having those streamers develop even through 3, 4, 5 p.m. So I think they're going to taper off. I think right around sunset, we're going to continue to have a few more pulsates of moisture through the Asheville area, through Fairview, that break containment and maybe even go into portions of the Piedmont. But this will eventually get more confined to a north of I-40 event. And then as the evening progresses, this will all taper off, I believe, by around 2 or 3 a.m., and then into tomorrow morning. I really don't think, this model is showing snow even through Saturday on to the Boone area. So something to be watched. The models are not in agreement on how long these snow flurries are going to stick around. I think that has to do somewhat with how cold these temperatures are going to be. We're going to really wring that moisture out. The snow rates get much higher when that occurs. I'll show you the snowfall precipitation or accumulation map. Once we see that kind of head push out from the mountains there, that's a good sign that banding's going to occur and that we're going to get accumulation outside of those higher elevations. That's what I saw yesterday. That's where my forecast came from, and it came to fruition here with many of you guys seeing even a little bit more than a dusting of snow around the area. So let's talk about those temperatures. All right, so temperatures pushing into tomorrow morning. Wow. Gonna drop some areas, higher elevations like Boone getting to 5, around 10, some areas single digits around the Buncombe County area. But this model is not as cold as what it was showing yesterday, which is a good sign for those areas that are very cold temperament. And so just wanted to give you guys an update of what we're seeing out here. These pulsates are going to continue to come at least throughout, and look, even got Franklin seeing snow from this. So wonderful that many of you guys are getting in. The snow lovers are getting to see their snowflakes. Continue to report for me on Asheville WX Weather Community. Tag me in your post on Twitter at HVWard or Instagram at AVLWX. Love to interact with you guys and answer your questions. Have a good evening, and like I said, let me know what you got at your house. Thanks.